going on YouTube? So today I want to discuss my favorite subject, which is inventing. So I see a lot of business types, younger people, or just new entrepreneurs that want to venture into inventing. So I figured I would discuss some of the things I've learned or some of the knowledge I've gained being in this field. So one of the first things I would recommend to anyone that wants to venture into inventing or creating a new product is to buy a 3D printer. It's the lowest cost to entry. You can get a 3D printer and rapid prototype any parts you might need, no matter what it is. Of course, if you have a more complex invention, you can learn to do electrical work or wiring or whatever it is you're trying to invent. But I can't stress enough, get a 3D printer. That is the best tool you can have in inventing. So now there's three primary ways to bring your invention to market or to sell your invention or generate an income from your invention. You can bring it to market yourself, you can license it to a company, or just sell it outright. Now, depending on how you feel or how much you're in love with your invention or how much effort you want to put into your invention will determine which category you fall under. So if it's just something you invent or you think is good or can really generate some income, but you're not too into it, you don't really want to be bothered, you would either fall into the licensing category or sell it outright. If you just wanted to you just want to get it out the door, you thought it was cool and you just don't care about it, well then you're just going to want to sell it outright. If let's say you have a full-time job or another business, or you might think, well, you like it but you're not fully invested in it, then you'd want to license it to a company. If you really love and believe in your invention and you know that this is something you really want to expand in the world, then you're going to want to bring it to market yourself. Now, obviously, the most difficult of the ways is to bring it to market yourself. That's the most stressful, that's the most strenuous, that's the most aggravation that's going to cause you. It's going to take a lot of time and money. Obviously, the other two are the least strenuous. So let's discuss the least strenuous. Now, if you just invent something and you want to sell your product to a company, one of the ways you can do that or license it is through open innovation. Now, there's many different companies that have open innovation. So, for example, let's say you invent a new toy. Well, then that new toy, you can go to a company like Hasbro, which they have Hasbro Spark, or you can go to Mattel, which has My Mattel Ideas, and you can submit your toy through their open portals, and obviously they'll get back to you within a week or two and decide if they want to actually, look further into your invention or if they don't really want to move further with it. Now, of course, I forgot to mention that you need to determine whether you want to patent it or not. Now, that's a whole different subject, so I'll discuss patenting or whether you want to go through that avenue or not, depending on how in love you are with your invention in the next video. So now, for first and foremost, with selling it outright and licensing it, obviously licensing it would be the better idea because you'll continuously get recurring royalties off of licensing your deal. Selling it is you would get a lump sum if you can find a buyer. So now, for those two, again, I stress that open innovation is the easiest way to get it to those companies. Now, you'll have to do a little bit of research to determine if the royalty rate that the company is offering you is fair, if it's market value or market standard, and if you feel you want to accept that, you'll have to determine that or do your research, whether it's with a lawyer or not. Obviously, don't sign a contract unless you have a lawyer present, but that's the easiest way to get your invention out on the shelves of a store or any new products you invent. So starting off, get a 3D printer. If you want to sell it or license it, You need to look for companies that offer open innovation, which is what I did with my medical devices, which obviously I can't really showcase right now because, that's some proprietary information and I would lose my contracts. But once they come to market, I will definitely showcase those. But that's the way I've found to be able to bring different inventions you come up with or create or work together to market the quickest way. Like for the medical inventions, a good company that offers open innovation is like someone like Boston Scientific. They have an open innovation portal where you can submit your non-descriptive idea. And again, you need to really decide how much information you want to divulge because, of course, in the market, you never know who you can truly trust. Now, so that's my advice for those two. Now, for the most difficult, which is bringing your product to market yourself, of course, obviously, you're gonna have to bring a finished product. So you're gonna have to obviously create your prototype, and you're gonna have to rework it, go back, and keep really trying to build your product until you get a nice polished product, no matter what it is. Let's say something simple. Let's use an invention. Let's say like the Storage Connects box I create. Now, I don't really care about that. That's just something I put out there for fun. But let's say like those boxes where, where I 3D printed them, and created my product. But let's say you want to get those into the store, so then you're gonna want to find someone that can manufacture it, and you discuss, how many units you have to order, and then you got to create to get it into like shelves or something or a store. You need to contact companies like, like Home Depot or Walmart, try to go through their distribution centers, create those contacts, try to look for it, and obviously you'll have a test run. It's difficult depending on your shelf space, but you want to build or create those contacts so that you can bring your product into the shelves of stores and see if how popular your product's going to be. Obviously you got to do your market research first, and you got to see the demand and all those different aspects. But that's the way to, if you really want to bring a product to market yourself, that's the avenue you want to take. Now, if you have more complex products that you want to bring to market, obviously you need to work it together and try to really build it up and make sure you have the right avenues to launch your product. You're going to be advertising through anywhere from AdWords to, well, I don't really recommend those, so I'm not going to use those, but you're going to advertise your product to kind of generate interest. You're going to want to do your little market groups or your little study groups to see, how human interaction, how much someone, how easy it is to interact with your product, how likely someone is to continue using it or recommend it. And then, like I said, create all those different connections or connections or those different distribution networks, so you can have your product and ship however many orders. Obviously, once you get your manufacturing in order, and then you can ship each of those products out. So that's my advice for inventing. That's how I've been able to do it. I've of course I license a lot of my products out, and I have a few products that I've gotten into stores, which I'll reveal soon. So I just wanted to share that bit of information with you, and hopefully that helps you in your journey with inventing.